Hi and welcome to CBN4's Primetime News. Today, I am your presenter, Alian Christopher. Let's take a look at the headlines set for today. A new president elected by the National Youth Council of Dominica. The UWP sees the return of a familiar face while the leader keeps his spot. And Jazz and Creole 2018 promises an exciting lineup. Stay tuned for these and other stories when CBN4's Primetime News returns.
Sweet talk, dear man, never lot of that. Yes, I. You don't know it's your boy Trilogy, urging everybody, young and old, to stay strong and stay healthy. You don't know we're doing it for 2018. Boom.
And welcome back to CBN4's Primetime News package. The communications officer, Paul Barron, has been elected as the new president of the National Youth Council of Dominica. Barron thumped his opponent and challenger, Fire Lander, by 58 votes to win the presidency seat at the Newtown Primary School. The final voting scores for the presidency race was 84 votes to 26. Kadisha Sentley was elected the first vice president. She won with 40 votes over Bert Paul, who got 35 votes, and Firelander got 30 votes. Therese Morancy was elected as second vice president, while David Thornhill was elected unopposed as the chairman of the NYCD. Outgoing President Jaiziah Binoit had a few words for the incoming executive of the NYCD.
Executive member, in my view, is to be responsible for the execution and or organization of work in service to any individual, organization, company or entity. So when you're on the executive, it means that you are responsible to execute the services necessary to ensure that your organization can succeed. You're not in a position of authority to dictate to people what they can and cannot do, or what activities we will be doing and which ones we won't be doing. Okay? Being on the executive is about service. Being on the executive is about listening to the ideas of hundreds of young people and keeping your ideas secret. Because these are the young people you want to engage. So rather than proposing to them every brilliant idea you have, it's sometimes better to listen to those that they have and support them to build from where they are. And I really want to say to each and every one of us, at this time, it's a phrase that I've heard out there lately, and I think since Maria, I wanted to adopt it for myself. Whether it's at the group level, whether it's at the district youth council level, whether it's at the executive level, each and every one of you here, whether you are inside as a delegate or you're outside as an observer, you are a leader. And this is the time that Dominica needs each and every one of its youth leaders to make an impact. And you cannot use the excuse that you're not the president of your group. You cannot use the excuse that you're not on the executive of the district youth council. You cannot use the excuse that you're not on the national youth council executive. You must lead from where you are.
And the opposition United Workers' Party has re-elected the Honorable Lennox Linton unopposed as its leader at the party's annual delegates convention in Grand Fond on Sunday. The UWP also re-elected parliamentary representative for the Roseau South constituency, Joshua Francis, as the deputy leader. Francis was removed as a deputy leader in 2016 after being entangled in controversy. Francis thumped the MP for Roseau North, Danny Luge, 83 votes to 48 after being nominated by the floor. Meantime, the Roseau Central constituency will have a new representative contesting the next general elections constitutionally due in 2020, and that individual is Glenroy Soso Coffey. Glenroy Coffey will replace Joseph Isaac, who recently resigned from the United Workers' Party. Isaac is now a minister under the Roosevelt Skerrit administration. The full executive reads: the leader, Lennox Linton; the deputy leader is Joshua Francis; the president is Isaac Baptist; the vice president, Hector John; the general secretary, Nicholas George; the treasurer is Alex Birmingham; the assistant general secretary is Debbie Shillingford. And the political leader of the Dominica Freedom Party, Kent Vital, has welcomed the People's Party of Dominica, PPOD, to the country's political race. The leader of PPOD, Sapphire Carrington, recently announced that her party will be contesting the next general elections, which are constitutionally due for 2020. Vital stated that the People's Party of Dominica have had a strong presence in the social media and they are more than welcomed.
100% sure of the period, but I know that they have been around for some time. They have had quite a presence on the net. I see some of the information that they put out on chat groups, on Facebook, and otherwise. And they have also been on the news before. The leader, Sapphire, has made comments on various matters, and it has reached the newsways, the news here in Dominica. So I'm quite aware that they have been convened maybe about a year, maybe a little less or a little more than that. I cannot tell you exactly, but I know for some time now they have been a party. They have convened a group of people who want to contribute to Dominica.
The Freedom Party leader further stated that any person or group of persons who feels they have something to contribute to the country are free to work with whoever they choose. He stated that this is the beauty of democracy.
In favor of democracy. So in that light, a group of persons or any individual who feels that they have something to contribute, they are free to come on board. They are free to associate with whoever they want, or to offer themselves as a new party, or to work with an existing party. That's our democracy, and our democracy is beautiful, and I want all our people to protect our democracy. And there are several countries in which there are several multi-parties contesting. That is not a problem. The fact is, we will all give our views to the people. People will hear what we have to say. They will see our message. They will see our approach. They will hear our messengers, and the people will make a decision. That's the beauty of democracy. But we just want that decision to be free. We don't just want elections to be free and fair.
So,
and based on what the DFP leader heard from the People's Party of Dominica in terms of what they are about, he said he liked some of the messages that he heard from the party.
Same kinds of messages that we in the Freedom Party have. So I think they mean well. I think they are seeking to assemble a good group of candidates, and that's commendable. That's good. I'm not going to sit here just because it's an opposition party to say anything negative, but I have heard some of their comments, and I like some of what I've heard from them, and it's very much in tune with some of what we say in the Freedom Party.
Vital concluded by stating that he is not worried about any form of competition and leaves it up to the public to judge on what the political parties have to say, judge their readiness, and to make sound decisions. And it's back. Sex Week 2018 kicks into high gear. Hosted by local human rights organization Caribbean HIV/AIDS Partnership Dominica, Sex Week will provide an accurate and comprehensive sex education by beginning and continuing conversations regarding sex, consent, sexual assault, relationships, sexuality, gender, and gender-based violence. Sex Week 2018 is being held under the theme Safer Sex Week. Arlene Gregoire, the chair of CHAP Dominica, said the week provides sexual education while also encouraging Dominicans to make the best decisions for themselves. Sex Week 2018 kicks off with a sexual health workshop dubbed the Safer Sex Workshop, with a targeted group of participants in Portsmouth. Sex Week 2018 will go through to Saturday, including radio panel discussions, the All Corner Sex Fair, and a poetry slam throughout the week. One of the main events during Sex Week is Link D, a two-day gender-based violence referral pathway training spearheaded by the Bureau of Gender Affairs. And stay tuned, we'll be back with more right after the break.
Sweet talk, dear man have a lot of that. Yes I, you don't know it's your boy Trilogy, urging everybody young and old to stay strong and stay healthy. You don't know we're doing it for 2018. Boom.
And welcome back. The Dominica police have arrested and charged a woman from the farming community of Bells, Karina Eugene, for causing grievous bodily harm to a 15-year-old girl who appears to be her niece. The 15-year-old was allegedly burnt by her aunt. Reports stated that the bail amount for Karina Eugene is 12,000 EC dollars, with preliminary inquiries set for September 6. Eugene appeared before Magistrate Bernard Paquette, where the charge was read to her. She was not required to plea since the matter is indictable. She is being represented by Attorney at Law Julian Prevot in that matter. Reports also indicate that Karina Eugene has been remanded in custody because there was no one to stand as surety on her behalf. It was also reported that Eugene is pregnant. The prosecution was led by Sergeant Davidson Cadet. And also, the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force are investigating a fatal traffic collision which claimed the lives of two men from the community of Castlebruce. The men have been identified as 72-year-old Victory Lloyd and 84-year-old James Austrie. Information from the Dominica Police Force indicated that Lloyd was the driver of vehicle registration number PQ498 and accompanied by his wife Juliet Lloyd and a friend, James Austrie. Mr. Lloyd apparently collapsed while driving and lost control of the vehicle, the report stated. The report further mentioned that the vehicle subsequently went off the road and plunged 150 feet into a ravine. The three individuals were transported to the Accident and Emergency Department of the Princess Margaret Hospital, where Victory Lloyd was officially pronounced dead by a medical doctor. James Austrie later succumbed to his injuries while being admitted at the Princess Margaret Hospital. And also in the news, the government of Dominica is currently in the process of completing the York Valley Bridge in the Layo Valley area, a project that is being funded through a grant from the government of China. Parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency, Honorable Kelva Daru, confirmed that the project is 95% complete. He also mentioned to CBN4 that the project should have already been completed, but due to the passage of Hurricane Maria on September 18th, the Chinese contracting firm left for China. However, the Chinese contracting firm are back on the island and have resumed work, with the project expected to be completed in a short period of time.
Once that is done, the section of the road from the Hillsborough Bridge to the York Valley Bridge is also an area that we have contracted a loan from the Caribbean Development Bank to facilitate the construction of that section of the road. Of course, with the damage that was caused by Hurricane Maria, there are some changes that has to be made to the plan, and also we're waiting some advice from the engineers from the Ministry of Public Works as to what would be the best options now for the reconstruction of that road. It's a very important artery for the residents on the west coast who want to go to the interior, and also the farmers of the Lehigh Valley area. And we anticipate that once we have finalized the designs for that road, we will see work begin in earnest, because the loan has already been contracted from the Caribbean Development Bank.
The section from the York Valley Bridge going back to the Warner Junction is another important area the government will be working on.
We know that we have the abattoir in that area, we have several farmers who own that area, several businesses in that area. So we're looking as well to have some advice from the Ministry of Public Works as to what is the best approach for that road, because for those of you who have traversed that road lately, you will see there are a number of interventions that have to take place on that road.
Daru noted that the cost has to be taken into consideration, as well as getting proper advice as to what steps can be taken to rehabilitate the entire section of the road. Daru also noted that he expects these projects to benefit the entire constituency upon completion. And patrons can expect an exciting lineup for the 9th edition of Dominica's Jazz and Creole. Stars, Ecstasy Band and Pan in Harmony will join headliners Michael Henderson and Xavier Strings on the main stage at the Fort Shirley on May 20th, 2018. Performers from the Swinging Stars Band, Stars, will entertain jazz enthusiasts with their unique repertoire. Pan in Harmony will display their versatility on the steel pan, while the Ecstasy Band will showcase its unique blend of compa, bouillon and kadas. This year's Jazz Festival will receive coverage from a regional media crew who will showcase the festival as well as other activities which visitors to Dominica can enjoy. Colin Piper, the CEO and Director of Tourism of Discover Dominica Authority, stated this year's activity is still intended to increase much-needed economic activity, particularly in the north.
Much like the staging of Carnival is an opportunity for residents to exhale as well as amplify awareness of the island in terms of business and tourism continuity and the reopening of a number of major sites and attractions, not only on the island but in the north of the island as well. But as expected, budgetary concerns have influenced the final plan. Nonetheless, we have an exciting program of events which will be unveiled in their entirety shortly.
He also mentioned that Dominica Festivals Committee is working alongside the Portsmouth Association of Yacht Services to put on an additional jazz event on May 19th, which can attract persons to visit the north for longer periods. The Domfesta Explosion carded for May 17th will be an addition to the Jazz Fringe events held before the main event. Domfesta Explosion will feature well-known artists such as T-Orchestra, Calypso Monarch, The Bob, Tasha P, and White Ferry. Additionally, jazz patrons are urged to show their love for country by including some elements of Dominica's Creole culture in their outfits. One lucky individual will win a ticket to this year's World Creole Music Festival as the most creative dressed patron at Jazz and Creole 2018. And that's how we come to the end of today's Primetime News package. On behalf of the entire CBN4 team, I'm your presenter, Alian Christopher, saying thank you for watching.